That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about the ravages of capitalism. What are we here to talk about?
Your Letterboxd account.
Oh.
Because when we first started this YouTube channel, we started getting messages like, do you specifically have a Letterboxd? I had no idea what that was. I had mentioned it to you and you said, oh yeah, I gotta do it. You finally did it.
I did it.
He finally did it. So you started keeping a spreadsheet of all of the films you watch.
In May of 2008.
In May of 2008.
What a good year that was, huh?
Yeah. So you took all the data from that spreadsheet, entered it into Letterboxd, and according to Letterboxd, I have my computer in front of me. According to Letterboxd, you've logged 10,343 films.
Mm-hmm. I think it's actually more than that in the diary because I also count repeats.
Oh, sure.
So it's actually over 11,000, but...
Oh, well, there you go. So I thought it might be fun to go through some stuff on your Letterboxd.
Sure.
And I'm not sure where I want to begin.
Well, you know, the struggle, the mental struggle that I had with myself was I didn't include anything I haven't actually watched since 2008. So, you know, like I haven't seen The Godfather since 2008. And it's like, I feel like I have to rewatch a lot of things.
Sure.
It's just an odd thing because I also don't trust my mind and what I might think. Like, I like writing down a score right when I watch something.
Well, first I want to go through your most watched stars.
No one's going to be surprised.
Yeah. I think I'll start with, I'm not going to do like a top whatever, but it just so happens that number 6 on your list is Julianne Moore. Mm-hmm. What does she mean to you when I say Julianne Moore?
A queer ally. No, I love Julianne Moore. I mean, she's usually a lot of fun. She's done some shit, but haven't we all?
What do you think her worst movie is?
Oh, that Kingsman sequel was pretty bad.
Oh, where she's on that island and everything is like 1950s?
No.
Isn't there a movie where she...
Oh, yes, she's in that like diner. And then, both her and Halle Berry kind of wasted in that. But yeah.
What is your favorite movie of hers?
Oh, I don't know. Probably Safe. Favorite performance might be Maps to the Stars, though.
Number 5, most watched, is Samuel L. Jackson. He does a lot of movies.
Yes.
So that's probably why you've seen him so many times.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Sam Jackson performance?
Maybe Jungle Fever.
And what about, can you think of a horrible...
I find Snakes on a Plane hard to get through.
Oh, well. Number 4 is Nicolas Cage.
Also works a lot.
Can you think of like his worst performance?
That movie he did where he's screaming 17, it's not called Absolution. It's from 2017, that's what I remember, but it's like a Z-grade film, and he's wearing this really bad wig.
What's your favorite performance of his?
Probably this David Gordon Green movie, Joe, from 2013. I think he's really good at.
Number 3, Willem Dafoe.
Also works a lot.
What do you think about good old Willem?
He gives it to you.
What's your favorite Willem performance?
God, there are so many. What's coming to mind is Antichrist, but...
Least favorite?
That movie, I can't remember the title of it, from the early 90s. We just watched it, which he's the male lead in. I can't remember.
We'll figure it out.
Is it Jan de Bont? Did he direct it?
Number 2 on your list is Sigourney Weaver. Mm-hmm. That's not a surprise. Because you've seen all of her movies.
Yes.
Favorite performance?
Death and the Maiden.
And least favorite?
/ Aliens. Least favorite? I don't know. 1492 Conquest of Paradise.
Oh. And number 1 on your list, you've seen the most performances from Isabelle Huppert.
Yes.
She works a lot.
She does work a lot.
I'm assuming your favorite is The Piano Teacher?
Yes.
What's your least favorite?
She did this film with Bellocchio that I really didn't like in 2012, Dormant Beauty. But it's not her fault. It's not her fault. It never is.
Making excuses. Okay, moving on to most watched directors. Again, I'm just picking sort of an arbitrary number, but number 6 would be Ridley Scott.
Also works a lot.
He did Alien.
The first one, yeah.
Okay. What other movie do I know from him?
Well, he did 1492 Conquest of Paradise. God, Gladiator, Hannibal, Black Hawk
I haven't seen
Down.
Gladiator.
Prometheus. Gladiator's pretty good.
Oh. Okay, number 5 is Robert Altman. What's a Robert Altman film I would know?
Three Women,
Three Women?
which we just watched.
With Sissy Spacek? Oh, yeah.
MASH. Well, That Cold Day in the Park. That my mind's going to parts of their filmography, but Nashville, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. He's a favorite. I mean,
Number 4 is Steven Soderbergh. What's a film I would know?
Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
No.
Ocean's 11.
Okay.
Beyond the Candelabra.
Number 3 is Alfred Hitchcock. What does he mean to you?
Quality cinema. That's what he means to me. Yeah, I mean, it's in his heyday. I mean,
What's your favorite Hitchcock movie?
Psycho and Notorious are my favorite Hitchcocks. You know, a lot of his earlier, like the Skin Game period and The Lodger, the original Man Who Knew Too Much, which I probably need to rewatch to fully appreciate it. I don't know.
Number 2 is Claude Chabrol. Do I know a Claude Chabrol movie?
I've made you watch La Cérémonie with Isabelle Huppert, the killer postal worker, with Sandrine Bonnaire, who's the illiterate maid. Yeah,
That's right. What's your favorite Chabrol movie?
probably that. But Story of Women. Violet, where Isabelle is the nasty killer teenager.
And your number 1 most watched director is Woody Allen.
Also, you know, the body of work is...
I do like a number of his movies.
I do too.
Bullets Over Broadway.
Bullets Over Broadway is so
Probably
good.
my favorite.
And a lot of people cite that as like when he began a state of decline. But
What's your favorite Woody Allen movie?
That Bullets Over Broadway and Interiors, which is not a comedy.
And your least favorite?
I mean, there are some bad ones.
That one with is it Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah, A Rainy Day in New York is definitely one of the worst.
I have to give an honorable mention because number 8 on your list is Tyler Perry, is most watched.
Yeah, he's probably well, sadly, what Letterboxd also reveals is, you know, other demographics. Like that's Tyler Perry's the black director whose films I've watched the most. Spike Lee's features on there, but he's a little further down.
I'm going to go to most watched writers because number 5 is Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Jean-Claude Carrière. What has that person written?
Well, Birth, off the top of my head, with Nicole Kidman. He worked a lot with Buñuel. I believe a lot of really weird, bizarre stories that I like.
Number 3 is Claude Chabrol. Number 2 is Woody Allen. But number 1 is Stephen King.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Stephen King?
I mean, he was a savior to me as a child in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. And then I kind of fell off hard on the Stephen King train as I grew.
Letterboxd also shows the movies you watched like the most, so like repeatedly. And I'm assuming this list is probably not the most accurate because it only started in 2008.
Yes.
But on here, some that you have on here are Poetic Justice.
Yeah.
We've seen 4 times.
In the past 15 years, yeah.
That Halle Berry movie Kidnap.
Well, because periodically you like to put that on.
The Leech Woman.
Oh, Colleen Gray, yeah. She was
We have some Sigourney on here like The Assignment.
Her performance in that is so good to me.
I would recommend it for her performance. The overall story is like, whoa.
It didn't have the budget it needed, but that's Walter Hill.
Alien is on here. I would think you've seen Aliens more than Alien. Well, because we saw Alien in the theater twice.
Yeah. Well, you took me to a drive-in during the pandemic. Right. We saw a really good Q&A with her at the Chinese, and that was a double feature, but you were already tired, so we didn't stay for Aliens.
Number 4 on your most watched is Heartbreakers, another Sigourney movie. Number 3 is The Good House, which just came out because you showed it to several people because you saw it at a film festival.
Well, I saw
you made me watch it. You made your family watch it. Then you watch it again on your own.
Yes, because her performance to me is so good in that.
Number 2 is Possession.
The Zulawski film with Sam Neill and Isabella Gianni.
And number 1 is The Room by
a mile.
By a mile by Tommy Wiseau, who when we first discovered the movie, we watched like a midnight.
We saw a midnight thing with our friend in Minneapolis.
And then after we saw it, we kept wanting to show it to people. So that's how we've seen it so many times.
Like in rapid succession, a ton of like people would come over and we forced your mother to watch it. And by the 3rd sex scene, I remember her saying like, I don't think we should be.
I don't think this movie's for us.
Yeah, I think my mom had a hard time with that film too.
Letterboxd also goes through like collections, so like film series that you've watched and completed, and some of these I'm not.
Some of them I'm like, oh, that was a collection.
Yeah, but what is the Apu trilogy?
Oh, by Satyajit Ray, the most famous Indian director of all time, following this young boy. But that is very. I haven't watched that in years. But
The Decalogue?
oh, Krzysztof Kieslowski, which each the 10 film series, and each one is built around a commandment. And I mean, Kieslowski's that's cinema gold.
Not to be confused with the grocery store Kowalski's.
And Linda Kieslowski.
Did you ever think you would complete the Hatchet series?
No, but we did.
But you did, Blanche. Okay, so moving on, you have 174 films you've given 5 stars to.
There's credit where credit's due.
So I thought it might be fun to like randomly pick some of these films you've given 5 stars to.
Okay.
And you tell me what you think about them. So what about The Stepford Wives?
Oh.
Why is that a perfect film? A masterpiece?
Because of how it makes me feel and just how well it's done and the time capsule of the period it is, because clearly it's been tried to be remade even by Olivia Wilde recently, and they can't do it. Catherine Ross is so young and beautiful. I love Paula Prentice, who's deliciously over the top. The ending when the therapist is talking to her and the emotion of her almost getting away.
The Mother and the Whore.
Oh God, I just watched that. I remember I rented it on VHS from a place called Cinema Revolution, probably in like 2006, and they just did a restoration at Cannes this year. The best thing I've seen. It's very long. Jean-Pierre Léaud and Bernadette Lafont, and also captures this time period and is very sexual. Oh, and what's her name? The actress who you just saw in Gaspar Noé's Vortex. That was Fabienne Berthe. What's her name? She was there at the restoration screening.
Okay.
And that's the movie. That's the reason that Gaspar Noé fell in love with. Anyway, yeah.
The Big Heat.
Gloria Graham. Getting coffee in the face. You shouldn't have thrown that coffee on me.
The Fugitive Kind.
Oh, this country used to be great, but now it's just drunk. Marlon Brando, you've seen that.
I have.
Anna Magnani, pick any fucking,
Language.
Anna Magnani movie. Oh, she's so good in that. Oh, the lady as Lady.
Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Oh, Peter Weir. I made you watch that. You probably don't remember. And there's a new recent series they made of that film where those girls go fall asleep on that trip and everything kind of becomes eerie and strange after that. Also a young Jackie Weaver.
Castle of Purity.
Arturo Ripstein, who Mr. Yorgos Lanthimos I think has ripped off, and nobody's really taken him to task for that. But yes, this family that's stuck in this castle, it's much like the film Dogville that he directed, but making rat poison and very strange, dysfunctional family. It's hard to get a hold of, as a lot of Ripstein stuff is, but...
All That Heaven Allows.
Douglas Sirk. I mean, this is what Far From Heaven is a remake of, and also Ali Fear Eats the Soul by Fassbinder. But yes, Jane Wyman and Rock Hudson as the straight gardener that she falls in love with.
Blue is the Warmest Color.
I know this is there was a lot of considerable backlash against this film because of Kashish and his filmmaking techniques, but Léa Seydoux and Adele Exarchopoulos in this, like there are moments in this film where I'm like, that's how it feels to be in love and watch it also slip away.
Le Aventura.
L'Avventura, the Antonioni with Monica Vitti, who Jennifer Coolidge had just mentioned in White Lotus. You're like, who's that? Monica Vitti at her most young and beautiful in the I keep forgetting the name of the trilogy that is technically the trilogy of disassociation or whatever that Antonioni did. Those are perfect pieces of cinema, and that is a very quiet, disturbing film, again about a disappearance. So it's about presence of absence, kind of, and that is an experience.
Serial Mom.
Oh, Serial Mom by John Waters. You could put on at any time. That is the perfect Kathleen Turner performance, but everybody knows exactly the tone that they're going for. It's such a rare thing to kind of carry off, and it's also very adult and very funny and kind of scary and very gross and everything you could want in a John Waters film.
Fantastic Planet.
The animated film where aliens have humans as pets, and it has a fantastic soundtrack.
Mildred Pierce.
Vita! Joan Crawford, and this is the quintessential loving mother that loves a little too hard.
Swept Away.
The Lena Wertmuller.
Not the one with Madonna.
Not Madonna's remake. Well, Guy Ritchie's remake. Yes, with Melina, what's her face, who throws herself upon. God, I'm forgetting his name as well. His son is in the remake. It's Giancarlo. When these two that hate each other become stranded. You need to. I mean, you've seen the Madonna version, I think, but I remember very vibrantly. She's trying to figure some way to give something to him because these are grown ass adults sexually, and she's like, "You can take me anally."
Oh gosh, The Purple Rose of Cairo.
You've seen this. That's one of Woody Allen's best, where Mia Farrow, a sad housewife, falls in love with the matinee idol Jeff Daniels she's been watching every day.
Aliens.
Say no more. I mean, you can't get any better.
And lastly, The Piano Teacher.
I remember renting this from Hollywood Video. Would have been 2002, and I had no inkling of Isabelle Huppert before. I'd only probably recently been starting to watch foreign language films because of a film class I'd taken, and couldn't get enough of it opens a whole door to you after you grow out of whatever ethnocentrism you've been raised in. And I was like, who is this woman? I am in love. And, back in the day, Hollywood Video had a lot of VHS, so I plundered their archives, and there was actually a lot of stuff available to the degree where I think my friends were making fun of me. But
The Piano Teacher.
Oh.
It's a great movie. Okay, I think it would be fun also. You have given half-star ratings to 696 movies. So I thought very quickly, pick some at random, and you just give me quick takes.
Okay.
Can that work?
Sure, if I remember.
Rogue with Megan Fox.
I mean, that movie happened. Where they're hunting the tigers or lions?
I think it's a lion.
Oh, yeah, that's a really bad film.
Big Mama House 2.
Nice gowns. No, Chloe Grace Moretz, I remember, is the little girl in that. It was hard to sit through.
Fantasy Island.
That's trash. That's just straight up. We should burn the celluloid that came in on. You saw that Jeff Wadlow film, although, other films I think of his have 0.5 stars from me on it.
God Save the Queens.
I do support drag queens, and I do love the art of drag, and I like a lot of those people in that movie, but that felt like a sycophant pulling all these people together with, for some reason, had all these resources and made a terrible film, and I don't know at what point where somebody can just say, this script is terrible, let me do my own thing.
Cry Macho.
Oh, with Clint Eastwood and that little boy who's certainly a terrible actor, and Clint who doesn't seem to care. No.
Oh. Do you recall a movie called Absolution?
Yes. I need the cat screaming.
We might have to take a break because the internet just froze on me, so I can't see your list. Hold on. Ugh, this video's been a struggle. Okay.
The Willem Dafoe film I was thinking of was White Sands.
White Sands? Mm-hmm. Okay.
He also did Body Bag.
I'm sure I will have already discovered that earlier in the video and put that image up. But
oh, sure. And also, I don't remember if I said Dogville or Dogtooth, but I meant Dogtooth.
I believe you said Dogville.
Oh, yes. Wrong.
How about a movie called Shocker?
Oh. Wes Craven's. What he was trying to... Because he didn't... silly him, didn't keep the rights to Nightmare on Elm Street, and as that took off away from him, he wanted to recreate a different franchise. And I think is that Peter Berg, who's just not a pleasant screen presence or director. But
what's your problem with X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Oh, that is trash. It's cock-a-doo-doo. It's not worth my time. Ugh, just terrible writing. What's that actress's name? Lucy, or where she has some part towards, and I haven't seen this since 2009, but towards the end where it's like, I'm just going to keep on walking.
What is Mad Dog Time?
Mad Dog Time?
Yeah. You don't recall that movie?
Not Mad Dog and Glory?
Is it Mad Dog and Glory? No, it's Mad Dog Time. Do you see this poster?
Oh, that is under a different title with Ellen Barkin, early '90s film. That's actually not the title that I watched it under.
Oh, well, we can move on to. Is there a movie with Marilyn or called Marilyn with White Michelle Williams?
Yeah, My Week with Marilyn.
What is this?
My Week with Marilyn.
What's your problem with that one?
That it's not good. It's terribly written. And poor Eddie Redmayne's narration is awful.
Do you recall a movie called Locked Up?
Yeah, we watched that on Netflix, and I remember watching it with you,
Oh.
and I remember thinking we shouldn't be watching. It's basically a light porn.
Oh, okay. Oh, you didn't care for Sex in the City too?
No,
Oh.
no.
What about Whiteout?
With Kate Beckinsale, I think is that Dominic Sena? Yeah, and Tom Skerritt. Yeah, that's trash.
You also have a movie called Mad Dog and Glory on here.
Yes. I'm trying to think of what Mad Dog Time. It's got. I think it's Richard Dreyfuss. It's this like amazing ensemble cast, and it's just terribly written. And that's the one I think where Ellen Burstyn says, "You two-time me 2 times."
Tyler Perry's Temptation.
With Journey Smollett.
Brandy. Kim
Kim
Kardashian.
has
Vanessa Williams. Vanessa
has,
L. Williams.
Brandy has AIDS in that. Yes, Vanessa L. Williams, where she has the French accent, and then like, thankfully reveals that she's not French.
What's your problem with glitter?
That it's hard to. That it's terrible. It's terrible. I don't care how much glitter she has pasted on her throughout.
Something called Ooga Booga.
I think you watched that with me. Somebody capitalizing on the Zuni fetish doll, because that's like a 2013 movie, and Karen Black's in it.
Oh boy. Okay, I'll do a couple more. What is Red 2?
Oh, the sequel to Red, Retired Extremely Dangerous.
Obviously, okay. The Animal?
And I think with Rob Schneider.
Yeah. What's your problem with that?
It's stupid. As my mother would say when I was watching Encino Man as a kid, like, that'll rot your brain.
Maybe lastly, how about Hell Baby?
Hell Baby.
Do you recall this poster?
I don't even recall that, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a good one to end on. Oh, I see you gave The Best Man Holiday half a star? Ooh. And we just wished Morris Chestnut happy birthday yesterday? Wow. Okay, well, this was fun.
It's not good.
Anyway.
You're the one that makes fun of what's her name in it.
The one who's dying.
Isn't it Monica Calhoun?
She looks crazy.
That's all you did was cackle about her look in that movie.
So for people who don't know, Letterboxd is a platform. You don't have to be a member or log in to see people's stats. So if people are interested, they can look up. I'll put a link. Well, a link to Nick's Letterboxd is already in the description of all of our videos. But if a person wants to peruse your findings, it's very easy to do. Do you have anything else you want to say about the number of hours you spent watching movies?
It's creepy that it keeps track of it. I will say.
It's not creepy that it's being done. It's creepy that someone kept track of it.
I do like. I think the statistics are fascinating because you can manipulate it in certain ways, but it really shows you where
your time went.
Your time went, and what countries you're watching films from, and. To me, after all these years, it's amazing. There are several countries out there I've not watched a piece of cinema from.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Hit the thanks button. Listen to our podcast. Bye.